What's up, guys? Welcome to the Film Club. In this video, we are digging into Christopher Nolan's latest masterpiece, Oppenheimer. People argue that it's his magnum opus, surpassing films such as Interstellar and Inception. And to be honest, I find it hard to disagree. The stunning cinematography, great storytelling, perfect cast. I felt like every single person in the cinema was on the edge of their seat throughout all 3 hours. Nolan really gave us a solid history lesson. But without further ado, here are 25 facts you didn't know about Oppenheimer. As we all saw in the film, Nolan utilized the effect of changing between black and white scenes as he has in earlier before as well. For the black and white sections of the film to be shot in the same quality as the rest of the movie, Kodak produced a limited supply of their XX black and white film stock in 70mm. This film stock was chosen specifically for its heritage. That is, it was originally sold to photographers as Super XX during World War II and was very popular with photojournalists of the era. When in the bunker during testing, Oppenheimer says that they'll know if the bomb is successful in 1 hour and 58 minutes. And of course, the bomb goes off in the movie at the 1 hour and 58-minute mark. Matt Damon was on a break from acting as a promise to his wife, Luciana Barossa, with one condition: it would go on hold if Christopher Nolan called. And as luck would have it, Nolan offered Damon the role of Leslie Groves, and the break went on hold, as agreed. The Trinity detonation scene uses a combination of practical effects and digital compositing. Multiple explosions were performed practically with a hybrid of gasoline, propane, aluminum, and magnesium substances involving big miniatures. These were filmed at high speeds from multiple angles and then layered using digital effects to create the iconic mushroom cloud. The score for the film doesn't feature any drums. Why? Director Christopher Nolan and composer Ludwig Göransson felt using a sound typically associated with the military would be inauthentic to musically capture the character of J. Robert Oppenheimer. Albert Einstein is shown walking in the woods with Kurt Gödel. The two of them did actually take long walks together as they were close friends at the Institute for Advanced Studies. Richard Feynman, one of the youngest scientists who was working at Los Alamos, played by actor Jack Quaid, is shown playing bongos multiple times during the film. In fact, in addition to his skills in physics, Feynman was known as a prolific bongo player. Christopher Nolan has said that his first encounter with the name Oppenheimer came about from the lyrics of Sting's song Russians from his 1985 album, The Dream of the Blue Turtles. The lyrics go, "How can I save my little boy from Oppenheimer's deadly toy?" When Matt Damon read the script first presented to him by Christopher Nolan, he was astonished to see that it was written on red paper in the first person, a format he had never professionally seen before. During an interview with reporter David Martin on CBS Sunday Morning in July 2023, director Christopher Nolan pointed out that the entire reel of IMAX film stock used for the production is 11 miles, or 17.7 kilometers long, and weighs 600 pounds, which equals 272 kilograms. The U.S. Department of Energy reinstated J. Robert Oppenheimer's security clearance on December 16, 2022, nearly 70 years after it was initially revoked by its predecessors, the Atomic Energy Commission. Speaking to the New York Times, Kai Bird, co-author of American Prometheus, the Pulitzer Prize-winning biography on Oppenheimer's life and inspiration for the film, reflected on the AEC's famously flawed security hearing, the push from the scientific community to restore Oppenheimer's clearance, and the Energy Department's decision saying, "I'm overwhelmed with emotion. History matters, and what was done to Oppenheimer in 1954 was a travesty, a black mark on the honor of the nation. Students of American history will now be able to read the last chapter and see what was done to Oppenheimer in that kangaroo court proceeding was not the last word." The line by Harry S. Truman, "Don't you ever bring that crybaby back here ever again," is actually historically factual. Not necessarily in the exact same words, but he did refer to Oppenheimer as a crybaby scientist. Reportedly, he added, "Blood on his hands? Damn it, I have twice as much on mine." The scene of Kitty Oppenheimer refusing to shake Edward Teller's hand after his negative testimony at the Oppenheimer security hearing happened in real life. Teller cried over Kitty's public rejection. Early in the film, Oppenheimer is seen reading T.S. Eliot's apocalyptic poem, The Wasteland, a chaotic post-World War I allegory that touches upon themes of rejuvenation, death, stagnancy, sterility, the mad Ophelia drowning herself, mankind's continual destruction of entire cities, and the guardianship of the Holy Grail. The film begins with droplets of spring rain, as does the poem. The wasteland ends with a refining fire, a flash of light and thunder over a desolate, ruined world, and a broken man standing alone on a shore as uncertainty looms and droplets of rain fall rhythmically once again. So does the film. J. David Wargo, who studied physics at MIT, optioned the rights to American Prometheus in 2015, but the project faced extended delays during its development. Wargo met with his old friend James Woods during the pandemic, and Woods set up a meeting with Charles Roven, who in turn passed on the book to Christopher Nolan. Wargo and Woods are credited executive producers. What helped Nolan decide to direct the film was a book of Oppenheimer's speeches given to him by Robert Pattinson at the wrap party of his previous film, Tenet, 2020. During a particularly haunting scene where J. Robert Oppenheimer convenes with the people of Los Alamos to seemingly celebrate the bombs being dropped in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, he's struck with ghastly visions of people suffering the effects of the bomb in front of his eyes. One person in particular is a young woman shown facing Oppenheimer as pieces of her skin begin peeling off of her face. This woman is Christopher Nolan's daughter, Flora Nolan. In an interview with The Telegraph, Nolan spoke about his casting choice, remarking that if you create the ultimate destructive power, it will also destroy those who are near and dear to you. I suppose this was my way of expressing that in what, to me, were the strongest possible terms. The film surpassed Bohemian Rhapsody, 2018, as the highest-grossing biographical film worldwide. Early in the film, when J. Robert Oppenheimer is introduced, someone asks what the J stands for. Before he can respond, James D'Arcy's character Patrick Blackett quickly replies, "Nothing," and the question is never answered in the film. The J stands for Julius. According to American Prometheus, the book on which the film was based, Oppenheimer was named after his father, Julius, but always insisted that the J stood for nothing. Coincidentally, Harry S. Truman's middle name is simply S. It stands for nothing. Oppenheimer is Christopher Nolan's longest-running film at 180 minutes duration. It was a personal wish of Christopher Nolan to surpass his previous longest-running film, Interstellar, which lasted 169 minutes. According to an article in the New York Times on July 7, 2023 about the movie, Kai Bird visited the set in Los Alamos. Upon arrival, he was stunned at Cillian Murphy's resemblance to J. Robert Oppenheimer, and the two had the following exchange. "Dr. Oppenheimer, I've been waiting decades to meet you." Bird said. Murphy just laughed, then said, "We've all been reading your book. It's mandatory reading around here." It was the second and consecutive collaboration between Christopher Nolan and composer Ludwig Göransson right after Tenet. Frequent Nolan collaborator Hans Zimmer wasn't available since he was committed with the scores of Dune and Dune Part 2 at the time of both Nolan films. It was the sixth collaboration between Cillian Murphy and Christopher Nolan after Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, Inception, The Dark Knight Rises, and Dunkirk. Murphy has appeared in more Nolan films than any other actor except Sir Michael Caine, who appeared in 7 or 8 if you count his vocal cameo in Dunkirk. However, it is the first time Cillian Murphy gets the lead role, which we've all been waiting for a long time. There is at least one incidence of a shortcut showing an alternate event interpretation. There are several short cuts of the scene where Jean Tatlock drowns in the bathtub. One of these cuts briefly shows a gloved hand pushing her underwater. It never again is mentioned or discussed whether it really was a suicide. In a 2023 interview with Hugo Decrypt, Christopher Nolan spoke about his specific decision to not use computer-generated imagery to depict the Trinity test and his view on the use of AI in film. "It's an artistic choice because I feel that computer graphics, incredibly sophisticated and versatile that they are, and extraordinary work has been done with them, they tend to feel a little safe to me. They tend to play more in the world of animation, so it's difficult to get threat from them, particularly in a film where the rest of the tone is very realistic, very textured. I think any tool, whether AI generated, whether it's computer-based or whatever, it's all another tool for filmmakers to create with. So long as we have faith in our human beings creating these tools, the medium of film will continue to develop in exciting ways." There you have it. 25 facts you now know about the film Oppenheimer. I hope you enjoyed it, and make sure to leave a comment if there are other facts we missed in this video. I round up with a random film recommendation. I recently watched a film called Come On, Come On by Mike Mills, which I enjoyed a lot. Go check it out. That's it for now. I'll talk to you in the next one.